This is my routine for being on my feet all day, or when I have sat at my desk to do postings or talking to people about their nutrition. It's important that we pay attention to the fascia and connective tissue on our feet, because when you release that, it actually transfers all the way up the body of the lower body up into the low back. You can also do it on the palms of your hands as well. I like to start out by rolling with a hard lacrosse ball that's got a little bit of a nubby exterior. And you're just going to roll pretty lightly at first, putting a little bit more pressure as you move along the sole of each foot. You might find that you have certain areas where it's a little bit more tender, or there might be a more focused pain that you feel. You can stop and apply a little bit of pressure without moving and hold it for a few seconds. Then continue rolling. I switched to a smaller, softer ball to get deeper into that fascia and connective tissue after I had warmed up the foot. Rolling from the front, right behind the toes of the front of the foot, all the way back to the heel. Then I start to get some mobility in my hips. Standing up, squatting down, finding that primal seat. Dropping your pelvic bowl all the way back, and then maybe rotating and doing a knee touch. Start using your ankle mobility, moving it forwards and backwards, and standing up and squatting back down. Rotating with a knee touch helps to open up a little bit more of that hip flexor and open up more of the low back into the sacrum. You're just trying to find a place of ease. Also, letting go of your anchor will give you a little bit more balance control. Standing up and doing a forward flex, anchoring your fingers underneath your toes, pulling them up, putting your fingers, interlace them between your toes for a nice stretch, that opening up those little bones and muscles within those metatarsals. Putting feet close together now to get a deep primal seat. Up and down kind of stretches and awakens both the quads and the hamstrings. You'll want to stand up very straight when you come up. Finding a 90-90 knee bend and rotating the ankle joint along with the knee is also imperative for proper balance, kind of opening up the hip. Now, if you have knee issues, this might be something that you want to go very slowly into. Don't put more pressure on. Go as far as your body allows. Since I am on my feet a lot, the ankle and foot routine of this is so important for me personally. I also like to do the frog stretch, where you're putting your knees on the ground, you're rotating your feet outward, dropping down and tucking your pelvis. Then we can do a little bit more mobility and rotation. Back to frog. You can also making sure that your pelvic bowl is tipped forward when you do this. You can come up, stretch out when you feel comfortable. You could even go down on your hands and on your elbows and just kind of rest there. Back to primal squat. I was pretty stiff this day, so I'm back to squatting. I really needed to open up that low back and hips. Now, the last thing I do, since I spend a lot of time in flexion there, I want to make sure that I have some time in extension. And I want to roll and open the fascia lines that are across my sacrum. So what I will do is one leg forward and one leg back. And what that does is opens up the hip flexor and deep into the psoas while I'm on the roller. Making sure that your low back feels comfortable at this time. Find a spot that you might feel like needs a little bit of attention. So just rolling. Now I'm using a melt roller here, which is super soft. It doesn't push on any hard bony prominences in my back. It actually just helps release that fascia.